right, so that was the trailer for Superman, the new movie coming out, and we're fortunate enough to have Ayelet Zurer online with us. They're getting her lined up right now, but she plays the mother of Superman on Krypton.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to her.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. She has quite a history behind her, so we're going to delve into some of that.
As well, honestly.
Yeah, so when I had to do my research on her, it was quite interesting to see her because, like, she was in movies that I love, but I didn't even know, like, Munich and...
Well, it looks like Superman has managed to get a number of big-name actors that normally do much more serious roles, which I think is going to give you a hint towards the type of Superman it's going to be. We're not going to have kneel before Zod this time around.
Or that horrible one with Brandon Routh, which I like
We're just not going to pretend that didn't happen and kneel before Zod!
Hey, there she is!
Oh.
Hi.
We can squish in this room.
So, can you hear us okay?
I hear you well enough. Do you hear me well?
Okay, we're having a little bit of problem hearing her out here. Give us 1 second to figure out why we can't hear you out here.
Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways, it's been thanks for coming on, being on a Saturday with us.
Yes.
It's really great of you to come out and be part of us. I'm Gavin, and this is
Chris-Rachael.
And we're happy to be here with you.
Hi,
So,
Rachel, I can't.
Well, first off, while they're getting the sound fixed, go ahead and we are fascinated by your background. I mean, most people don't start with Israeli military and then become actresses. What was that transition like?
Well, I have to apologize for that piece of information. I was in the army because it's mandatory in Israel, but I was actually acting while I was there. You can choose.
Really?
And you have to audition for things. So I was actually doing theater while I was doing that.
So part of your military service was actually being an actress?
Yes.
Fascinating.
that's actually pretty cool because I was thinking soldier to actress. How does that actually work? But did you get to play being a soldier at least?
Let me think. If I ever had a part as a soldier, I think only once, and it wasn't in a movie. It was actually an internet web episode.
But
no, actually, it wasn't an internet movie. Microsoft's.
Yeah. So.
But everyone in Israel is required to do mandatory military service, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So not everybody needs to be a soldier. So I guess they need other things for you to do during that 2 years.
Yes, I guess you can do all kinds of things. You can actually study. You can be a doctor. You could be a physicist. You can, it depends on your skills, of course, but you can choose.
Well, that's pretty awesome. When I did my research on you, you started out doing a lot of Israeli films and then American. What was that transition like going from one country's filmmaking style to another country's filmmaking style?
Well, most of my early career was in Israel, but then two things happened to me that kind of transcended the country's borders. One was Munich, obviously. And
Which
then,
I love that movie.
And the second one was In Treatment that was sold to HBO. So I was in the original program. I originated the Israeli version of it, and somehow it moved around and people saw it, and so I started to get offers. And eventually, in the last, I'd say 70 years, I've been doing films abroad, meaning here in the United States. I'm actually in the United States now.
Is there actually a difference though with the directors or the sets or just how things go down on an Israeli set versus an American set? Or has Hollywood just standardized it for everybody?
Not in the sense of how people work or communicate. I actually think that people in film are the same people. If you go into a set in Germany, I just filmed a film in Prague with Clive Owen, and I was looking at people, and I could tell you just by looking at the people who is production, who was in the art department, who was grip. It's kind of the same people. People in film feels the same way all over the world. The big difference is when you make a big movie such as, Man of Steel, then suddenly, it's 175 million and 2,000 million. It's a different type of the time put into a scene. You can shoot a scene in 3 weeks, or a week, or who knows, it depends on the scene, but it's a different type of budget, and you can feel it as you work.
So you play Superman's mother on Krypton and Man of Steel. Were you nervous about getting this role at all? Because let's face facts, Superman doesn't have the best movie track record. Like, the last one was horrendous. Did you
Yes.
have any sort of apprehension before saying, yeah, I think I'm going to do this?
When I was called to meet with Zach, it happened so fast. It was like, hey, we need you on a plane. Come and meet Zach the next day. I didn't know what was the movie. It was so secretive. And when I came and met him, he said, well, I'm going to give you a script. You can read it tonight and give me an answer tomorrow. And that was it. You know, it was like,
He gave
boom.
you one day, and that was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I honestly, on the plane, I didn't know what I was really going for. And I was curious and excited, but, you know, I didn't have an idea. But then I sat down in a hotel room and I read the script, and it was a pretty long script, very elaborate, many storylines and ideas, and I just fell in love with it because I felt that the adaptation of David Goyer was just astounding to me, how he took this, you know, well-known story and adapted it into this more modern world and made it glorious and yet realistic, and at the same time it's inspiring, but it's trying to be honest and combative, yet it's emotional. There's so many things in it, and I just said, oh my gosh, that's going to be probably the next thing, and I said yes, of course. You know, there was no question.
So, are you a superhero fan?
That's a really good question.
She is now.
I'm a normal person fan to superheroes. You know, I'm not a fanboy like
Yeah.
crazy. You know, I learned things about the creators of Superman after getting the job and wanting to see what is that world and who these people are, you know, where it came from, what was the collective, I don't know, the imaginative world with which they came from. That's what I wanted to know, but I didn't know all these things, you know. I didn't know that Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster created it, for example. I had to go and read about it.
So this is I don't know if whimsical is the right word, but it's, you know, definitely more of a geeky sort of role, and you've been in so many incredibly serious, very heavy, deep sort of things in the past. Are you hoping that this can transition you into maybe that whole new blooming world of geek movies?
Geek movies?
Well, I mean,
funny.
we've had Avengers, we've had so many.
Would I consider geek movies superhero movies?
Well, you know, things like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, you know, more of the fantastical.
You know what? If I would get a job in Lord of the Ring, I would be so happy. You would have to get me off the roof. Because that's one of my favorite stories. I love fantasy stories, and Tolkien is one of my most favorite authors. And I'm crazy for, if we're talking TV, Game of Thrones, for example.
Yeah, yes.
So if you could play,
I would totally feel for that.
if you could play anybody in Lord of the Rings, who would you want to play?
Oh my gosh, my part was stolen. I won't tell you who stole it.
I think we can
I
guess,
think we can
because there's
figure it
only
out.
3 female roles
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes.
So, just, did you watch the Superman Returns movie before you decided to read this script, or did you go back and research and say, wow, they're really doing something massively different with the Superman movie?
It's not massively different. It's just a little bit, to my opinion, more modern, and it gives a lot of time in Krypton.
Do you think that Superman's extra time spent on Krypton might be why he reaches Earth and understands you're not supposed to wear your underpants on the outside?
I won't tell you more than what I said, because I don't want to ruin the experience for people. But I would say definitely that because he battles a question of identity, you kind of needed to see both worlds and to understand why he makes the choice that he makes.
So officially, Superman's mother will not comment on his wearing of underpants on the outside.
Yeah.
That's what we have learned here.
Well, thank you for joining us. I can't wait to see the movie, because
Yeah.
I'm not a Superman fan, but I've been like excited for this movie the more I saw, because I love what they did with the Batman trilogy, but they forgot the superhero aspect. And it looks like that's what they're doing here, is they're doing kind of like they did with Batman, but adding the fantastic element into it of superheroes and superpowers and larger-than-life things. So I may actually become a Superman fan after this. We'll see.
I'm skeptical.
She's very skeptical.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
So
Thank you for having me.
thank you, and good
Okay.
luck with the movie, and hope to see you again.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, so I liked her. She was fun.
Yeah.
That was.
No one is willing to comment, though, on Superman's underpantsness.
It comes from the new 52. He doesn't wear the underwear in it.
I'm just saying, the old Superman, maybe he got hit on the head a little hard when he crashed into Earth and just didn't really understand how underwear works.